All right, guys, let's talk about the Joel Embiid article, exclusive interview on ESPN by, I'm going to say his name wrong, but Datun Akintoy, who is from, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but he did say they are from the same place. So he is also from Cameroon, Africa. I'm assuming when he says we're from the same place, or he's just also from Africa. But either way, he has that connection to Joel Embiid. And he got basically an exclusive interview with Joel Embiid in his house with his wife and his kid there. And Joel Embiid answered a lot of questions that he probably wouldn't have answered for anybody else. So I think that's cool. I think that's a big deal. I think that's exclusive. I'm getting a little bit of hate on social media because my initial reaction to it was negative because I thought I was going to get an interview where Joel Embiid was going to talk about basically what happened last season with his injury and what he's up to now and what we can expect from this upcoming season. I didn't know it was going to be a novel that was overly descriptive, describing everything all the way down to like what pants he was wearing as he leans on the piano in his mansion in the Philadelphia suburbs. I was just like, bro, get this out of my face. I don't want to read this. That was short-sighted by me, okay? Because I went and read it, and there is a lot of insight that nobody else has ever heard from Joel Embiid about the beginning of the process and all of the things that happened all the way back to his first foot surgery and how the organization was mishandling that, and they were fining him, for not showing up to meetings or whatever back then because he was telling them there's something wrong with my foot, and they were calling him lazy. And then he had a second foot surgery. So the malpractice by the front office has been going on for a long time. But none of that is news. It was a well-written article. I didn't learn anything. I know this organization is a total fucking shit show from top to bottom. Real Sixers fans like me, we've been saying this forever. I've been defending Joel Embiid his entire career. When the haters come out and say he can't get it done in the playoffs, he doesn't step up in the playoffs, I've been the one saying, bro, this is a center who gets triple teamed on the block. And if he has a point guard who won't shoot the ball, or a bunch of 40-year-olds around him, or just guys that can't shoot, or guys that can't, he's never had that second star. Literally, Tyrese Maxey's the only second star he's had who's not even in his prime yet, or you could say James Harden, who was out of his prime when he had him. He never had a second star in his prime. The roster construction has always been totally ass backwards and stupid. Even the 2019 team was a piece of shit construction as far as the roster goes. You had Jimmy Butler and Ben Simmons on the fucking team together with Tobias Harris. You didn't have a real point guard. You had a bunch of guys who can't shoot threes, and they almost went to the NBA Finals because Joel Embiid is that good. You know what I mean? I was just saying 2 days ago, this roster, if healthy, is a championship roster, and I was only saying that because Joel Embiid is that good. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter, bro. Look at the guard rotation. Look at the point guard depth. Look at the this. Look at the that. Anybody that's saying this roster is, I've seen people say, even if Joel Embiid is healthy, this roster's not getting out of the. Do you understand how good Joel Embiid is when healthy? And I've been saying for years, the organization wasted his career just like they did Allen Iverson. And then all of the information in this article is just proving that. It's not really eye-opening to me. I know this stuff. We know this stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? All the way, I mean, you can even talk about Daryl Morey refusing to trade Tobias Harris and punting a season in Joel Embiid's prime when he's healthy and winning MVPs to wait another year to sign Paul George. You know what I mean? They wasted his career. I agree with that completely. I already know that. My problem with this is people are now taking this article and making it sound like you're not allowed to speak negatively in the context of Joel Embiid right now on the Philadelphia 76ers basketball team because they read this article about all the mistreatment and they kind of got insight to how soft, emotional, loving, honest, they got to see how much of a good person he is. And I'm sure he's a great person. But that's not going to stop me from saying right now, I'm over it. That's what I don't understand, bro. That's what I don't understand. Why are people coming at me acting like I'm not allowed to say, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of hoping Joel Embiid is healthy. Cool story about him being a nice guy and a family man and the Sixers organization being a piece of shit. I already know that. But essentially, all of that aside, he's been the most talented big man I've ever seen whose career has been derailed by injuries. It doesn't matter who the GM was or who the teammates were or anything. Yeah, with a better organization, he could have won some championships. But right now, he can't get on the court. And so it's hard for me to care about a story about the beginning of the process or Joel Embiid's personal life or how much they all want me to feel bad for him. You know what I mean? Somebody just replied to me on Twitter and said, you're a piece of shit because I tweeted, is Joel Embiid pushing for a trade? Everybody's now acting like you're not even allowed to speculate or report or talk about Joel Embiid in the context of a basketball player and a basketball team because this article came out and now we all have to have this sympathy and be sad for him and feel bad for him. Oh, never mind. Never mind. You gave enough to this team. You can just sit until your contract's over in 2029. I feel so bad for you. You guys are acting like he's homeless. This is somebody who's made hundreds of millions of dollars playing a sport. He's sitting in a mansion right now with his wife and his 2 kids. His life is dandy. There's real struggle in the world. I don't feel bad for Joel Embiid. I'm sorry. I need somebody who's going to play the upcoming season because I'm a 76ers fan. Okay? I watch the sport. I watch the team. I root for the team to win. That's it. We all have lives, okay? We all work and make money, and then we take a couple of hours and we watch a basketball game, and we want to be entertained, and we want to be able to root for them. We want to be able to hope that they might be able to win the damn thing. And if they can't do that, we're upset about it. Telling me Joel Embiid's a nice guy and showing me an article about how much of a family man he is doesn't fucking change the fact that the Sixers suck right now and they got this guy until 2029 and he can't get on the floor. He's a nice guy. He's a family man. I'm having trouble giving a fuck. Is he gonna play? I was going to go through like some of the main parts of the article, but I just ranted for 9 minutes. Joel Embiid says, I hope one day someone makes a show or whatever, writes a book about it. We went from GMs having burner accounts, and then we've had great guys that we drafted, but then stuff happened that no one could ever figure out. The drama, Sam Hinkie being kicked out, bringing the Colangelos. There's been a lot of things that happen, and that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about continuity. I have trouble not feeling like this whole article is a puff piece or a blame game. At the end of the day, you're just injured all the time. It's not your fault. I'm not mad at you for it. I agree that people call him lazy and people say that he's this and he's that and people question his effort. I've said so many times, I will never question his effort. I've watched him play through injury every season. He goes out there with a paralyzed face, with a torn ligament in his thumb, just off a knee surgery. Rushes back from knee surgery, averages 30 and 10. And Tobias fucking Harris can't score a goddamn point in Game 6. I love Joel Embiid. I love everything he's done, but he's an injured player. He's always been an injured player, and I don't have to give a fuck. I need new players that can play. That's all I'm saying. I'm sorry if that's harsh. Nicholas Batum says, I was sitting next to him in the locker room. I saw his knee before every game. After every game, I saw his knee. I have no idea how he could even walk. See, people take that and they oh, I feel bad. No, I look at that and I say, fuck. He's cooked. He's on a contract until 2029, and Nicholas Batum said his knee is so disgustingly fucked up he doesn't even know how he can walk. That's supposed to make me feel good? All I've been saying is, I think he's done. I think he's going to medically retire. Stop dragging this out for another season. Ramp up this, ramp up that. Now there's John Clark put out a part from this article, basically said Joel Embiid's not going to rush back this time. He's going to take his time. He feels like the organization has rushed him every time he's been injured. So plan on another season of ramping up, guys. Just, keep that in mind. He said James Harden doesn't talk to him anymore. Something about James Harden, probably with the Daryl Morey stuff. I don't know anything. I have trouble caring. I have trouble caring about these stories. I'm sorry. Joel Embiid said, what if, you know what, I'm going to chill all season and average 25 or 20, and in the playoffs I go average 30. Would that make me look great? You did average 30 in the playoffs, actually, last year. You averaged 30 and 10 in 2 years ago. In the Knicks series, you averaged 30 and 10, fresh off a knee surgery. But you looked like a shell of yourself. I don't think anybody's ever saying that Joel Embiid can't get it done in the playoffs. He gets hurt every season. The Brooklyn series 2 years ago, double me everywhere, half court as soon as I had the ball. The coach was like, go get it. And guess what? I was like, fine with it because we kicked the ball out. We made shots. Guess what it did? It lowered the stats. So if that's the narrative that's out there, I'm okay with that because I know what I'm going through and I know what's going on and no one is in my body to understand what I'm going through. I understand the perspective of he's frustrated that people call him lazy or say that he's not a playoff riser because he's hurt all the time. I understand that. That's always my argument. But I'm also over it because he's hurt all the time. None of this means that I have to sit through season after season after season of ramp-ups because, Joel Embiid went through this terrible time and the organization sucks and he's been injured the whole time. Okay, I feel bad for you. Why? But give me somebody that can play, man. Like, I don't know, bro. If you guys disagree with this and you hate me for this, it is what it is. But this is how I feel about it, bro. Joel Embiid says he doesn't appreciate when people claim he cares too much about individual awards. MVP award, I don't really care about that. This is interesting before I get out of here. And again, I love Joel Embiid. I love what he did. I love him, the fact that he played through injuries all these times. But I don't have to feel bad and stop myself from saying we should trade Joel Embiid or it's time to move on from Joel Embiid just because of this article. I don't give a fuck. He's a nice guy. He's a family man. He's probably a very loving person and fun to be around. But guess what? He can't play anymore. It's time to move on from Joel Embiid. Those two things can be true, is all I'm saying. Joel Embiid gave an update on the leaked locker room meeting in November. He said the past is the past. They asked him if remember, Tyrese Maxey apparently called him out for being late for practice or not showing up to team meetings or whatever. Somebody in that meeting leaked that information and started a whole shit show between, Tyrese Maxey calls out Joel Embiid. Some idiot, dumbass YouTubers were using it to make videos titled Maxey calls out Embiid. I am one of those YouTubers that did that. It's my job at this point. Fuck it. You know what I mean? Anyway, he says basically he knows who it was. And they said, is this person still around? He says, yeah, they're still around. So the person is still on this team. And everybody starts to think that it's Eric Gordon that was the snitch for some reason. Aiden Laporta says, by the way, Eric Gordon was a snitch that leaked the stuff that took place inside the Sixers locker room. He also sucks at basketball and shouldn't have a roster spot. Why is he on our team? And Eric Gordon himself responded and said, dude's talking stupid shit. I'm going on year 18. That ain't my reputation. Get your facts straight. And then everybody replied and asked Eric Gordon to please retire. I guess my main take on this Joel Embiid article is that this organization is a shit show. I've known that. We've all known that for a long time. Joel Embiid's been injured his whole career. The last couple years sucked. Last year was fucking horrible with the whole, when's he going to play? When's he going to play? Oh, he's ramping up. He's ramping up. And now we're about to go into another, oh, he's ramping up. He's ramping up. He's ramping up. And I'm supposed to not be pissed off and frustrated because somebody wrote a heartfelt article about Joel Embiid being a family man. I don't give a fuck. I want the 76ers to be good. It's time to move on from the Joel Embiid era. If that's harsh, that's harsh. I don't know what else to say. I love you guys. I'll see you later.